welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for December the 9th through the 15th. What an incredible celestial sky we have this week. A lot is going on, but that's for the astrological report. So if you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you will return. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty, support, and love. Now, these readings are for the collective, guys. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you would like a more tailored, in-depth personal reading, then click on this link here and that will take you to my website and you can take a look at the kind of readings that I offer. Now, these readings are for your sun, moon, and rising. So if you know your sun, moon, and rising, then check out the other readings. All the links will be in the description box below. It'll say show more. You click on that, or if it's on a telephone, it'll have a little arrow pointing down, and that will open up the links to everything. I have a Facebook group, guys, and every 2 weeks I do a live feed in that group, which correlates with the new moon or the full moon. It is a private group, so you just have to click on the link below and request to join, and you'll just have a couple of questions that you have to ask. That's it. So yeah, well, whoever shows up for the live feed, then I look at the horoscopes and their sign and see how you are receiving the energy from the new or the full moon, respectively. So I'll be doing one this week coming up for this full moon in Gemini. So we have lots of fun there. It's really cool. Now, another way to support this channel, other than likes and shares and comments, which I really appreciate, guys, check out my Patreon page right here. I post things on there that I don't post anywhere else, or sometimes I preview them there before I make them public. So you can support me for as little as $1 a month, which is what, $12 a year, which is not a lot, but it's a lot for me. I can do a lot with that. And if you can't, that's fine. Just like, share, comment, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Lastly, these readings come in 3 sections. There's this section, which is the intro. Then there is the astrology report. And then after that is the tarot reading. I have the skip stamp times for each section below, right above, directly above all the links to the other videos. Sometimes it takes, that will be there straight away, but sometimes it takes me a minute to get all the links up. So bear with me. I have to upload all the videos first, and then I can put in all the links. So guys, without further ado, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology report section of your reading for December the 9th through the 15th. So gosh, there's so much going on. We start off with Monday, the 9th of December. Mercury moves into Sagittarius. It's going to feel like a breath of fresh air because Mercury has been in Scorpio since October the 3rd. You know, it's been there for for over 2 months because of the retrograde. You know, it was just about to come out and then it went retrograde. So it has been a very long journey. And it's in Scorpio, we had to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, you know, and some of us are still shaken up by that, by those revelations. We will go from these deep, intense and detailed oriented thoughts and conversations to the bigger picture, a little bit more scattered and perhaps saying things without much foresight. So we can kind of, you know, there's very little filter between thought and mouth. It's just zoom, it just comes out. Mercury moving into Sagittarius is going to lighten the mood. We'll feel lighter, we'll feel more optimistic and more joyous. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, our thinking shifts from this need to dig deep into any given situation or topic to the desire to learn about everything. It's like we want to know everything. We want to learn. So we see this, we want to learn about it. We see that, we want to learn about it. We're like excited about deepening our education or knowledge. So our thinking becomes more optimistic, our faith becomes stronger and increases, and we are more idealistic. We're more concerned with what is fair and what is not. But under this influence, with Mercury in Sagittarius, we may not always make the right choices. Now, Mercury and Sagittarius don't exactly get along. Mercury represents our thought process and intellect, communication, whereas Sagittarius can jump to conclusions, seldom listens, and can be a bit impulsive. This transit can be challenging when it comes to communicating with others. We may be more optimistic and joyful, but we also have a tendency to make decisions based on assumptions, which can cause catastrophic errors in judgment. So be aware of this tendency and slow down. Resist the urge to make decisions before talking it over with trusted friends or family members. Remember, don't assume anything until you have all the facts. Resist the urge to jump to conclusions. Now, Wednesday, December the 11th, Venus conjuncts Saturn in the early hours of the morning. This aspect is challenging for love and finance. Your relationships could go through a lack of connection or lack of emotion. A stable relationship can weather this storm, but if your relationship is on rocky ground or unstable legs, it may not survive. If you meet under this influence, there could be a significant age difference and probably will be based on practical considerations rather than a partnership rather than a love match. This transit can also affect your finances and you could find yourself strapped for cash. So planning ahead might be prudent at this time so that you won't be in this predicament again in the future. Now, Thursday, December the 12th, we have the full moon in Gemini at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's talk about the significance of the number 1212, 1212. This is the 12th month, and on the 12th day, we have the full moon at 12:12. How crazy is that? Well, this is a very significant number in numerology. It represents the highest vibration. It's a connection to the higher self or the light body, spirit guides, and it's the ascended master's frequency. So if you keep seeing this number, like I have been seeing this number a lot over the last few months, particularly, it's more and more frequent for me. You are connecting to that light, or you're being urged to connect to it. It's the new earth awakening vibration. It's that frequency. It's very high. So this is an incredible opportunity. It's almost like a portal has opened up for this, because so this is about change. So not only do we have this full moon, and as most of you know, the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. It's actually the sun's light that illuminates the moon. It's the sun feeding the moon, if you like. So the moon is in Gemini and the sun is in Sagittarius. And full moons are about culminations and endings, crescendo coming to, it's change, right? It's endings and beginnings. Gemini is about the intellect. It's about the thought process, the spoken and the written word. It's about books and about learning, right? While Sagittarius is about spirituality, adventure, and higher learning. It's kind of a higher octave of learning. And it's about optimism. Now, at the same time as this full moon, there is a T-square, what we call in astrology a T-square. And that T-square is to Neptune. So that means that Neptune is square to both the sun and the moon. This is a challenging aspect, right? Squares are tension, and they're kind of motivating, if you will. Now, the lowest octave of this energy is the monkey brain, right? That's what will be highlighted, what we call in meditation the monkey brain. It is that unconscious chatter in the background that's constantly going, that's there all the time, and perhaps sometimes we're not conscious half the time. Some of us aren't conscious of it at all, but some of us are awakening and hearing that voice in the back of our heads that is saying, you're not good enough, you'll never do it, you're too old, you're too young, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too ugly, too dumb, you'll never make it. Oh, look, see, there you go. You've done it again. It's that kind of energy. And it's that. So the antidote to that is meditation. Meditation quietens the monkey brain. So listen, we may be too idealistic or perhaps even deceptive. That's the lower octave of it. We may be overly sensitive and we may take things personally. This full moon will shed a light on the truth and will bring something from the unconscious into the conscious. Maybe make us aware of what we're thinking and how we feel about ourselves, or how we're allowing this monkey brain to dictate how we feel about ourselves, right? Now, meditation, I always say this, if you've watched me before, meditation isn't about controlling your mind, but it's about not allowing your mind to control you, not dictating our actions according to our monkey brain. The higher octave of this energy is that we connect to higher energies, to that light, that 1-2-1-2 frequency, right? Because the veil between the worlds with Neptune at play becomes very thin. So we are able to communicate with spirit in the ethereal realm. It will empathize with the suffering and the plight of the less fortunate around the world. And it's imperative that we conduct ourselves with honesty, kindness, and integrity, and that we keep a positive mindset. It's like visualize the manifestation of your dreams and wishes, practice that. The energy surrounding us right now is really fast and furious. All the planets are traveling direct and they're picking up speed. So they are going full force. It's like we're on the express train to 2020. So we are manifesting our beliefs at an incredible speed. So it's really important to make sure that you are in the I can and will mindset as opposed to I can't or won't attitude. Now, I haven't finished, guys. There's more. On Friday, December the 13th, Mars trines Neptune. Now, with Mars trining Neptune, your sensitivity and creativity is stimulated. It creates a magnetic, attractive, and sensual charm. which is ideal for romance, you know, inspires a spiritual connection with romantic partners, whether you're in one or you're meeting one. It feels so right. This aspect can also spur an urge to stand up for the underdog or a human rights cause. Anything that you feel is unjust, it's like you will be moved by that. Although this isn't an aggressive energy, it will give you the courage to fight for the rights of people, animals, or the environment based on moral and ethical values. It's very idealistic, but very action oriented. So you want to get up, you want to stand up, you want to do something tangible for what's going on in the world. We're seeing it around the world. People are getting more and more involved in protests. Look what's going on in Hong Kong. Anyway, so also on that day, Venus is conjunct Pluto a couple of hours later, right? What is it? 4 hours later or 3 hours later. So you're going to feel this is kind of energy that's around now. This brings a need. It brings in the need for a deeper and more meaningful connection with your partner, or indeed, if you're single, the longing to fall in love. The desire is so strong that you may manipulate others, even engage in atrocious behavior like stalking or spying on your lover or partner, going through their emails or their phone or their bags or their coat pockets and things like that, and surreptitiously. It's not good. Spying on people, tracking their phones and their computers and things like that. It's really not okay to spy on anyone. It's not. It will actually create the opposite of what you desire. It will push someone away because everyone inevitably gets caught doing that kind of stuff eventually. So it's important to resist the urge to control and allow things to play out, even if the result is not what not to your liking, because karma is attached to this energy, and we must play it with honesty and integrity. We must, come from a higher perspective or a higher energy. If you meet someone during this transit, you could jump in over your head and become infatuated or even obsessed, which can spur the behavior I've just highlighted, So take it slow. Keep your friends in the loop and confess the temptation to manipulate or do anything that's kind of nefarious or underhanded or sneaky, so that they can talk you out of it. Now we move on to December the 15th, Jupiter trine Uranus in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a wonderful energy, guys. Fabulous surprises and wonderful opportunities could pop up out of the blue. Small miracles kind of thing, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, wow. Serendipity encounters with influential people can happen. It's a time to take risks, actually, and push the boundaries, of how far you can go in a good way. It's a lucky day. Actually, it lasts for more than a few days, but it's the most intense on Sunday because that's when the aspect is exact. So what a lovely day to end the week on. So without further ado, let's go to your tarot card reading, shall we? Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your reading for December the 9th through the 15th. Aquarius, Aquarius. Here we go, Aquarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Aquarius for the week of December the 9th through the 15th? 3 cards for Aquarius, please. Oh, that's about 10 cards there. Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, there's one. 2 more cards for Aquarius, please. 2 more. Oh, there's crossover already. 2 more cards for Aquarius, please. One more card for Aquarius. There it is. Oh, there it is. Aquarius. Aquarius. Now let's do your clarifying cards. These are clarifying cards for Aquarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Aquarius through these clarifying cards for the week of December the 9th through the 15th? Please clarify. There's one. Oh, there's 2 there. Oof. Okay. Please clarify. Please clarify. There it is. And please clarify. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Aquarius. Let's take a look at. Oh, have I put those upside down? Oh, that's interesting. We'll keep that there. Let's take a look at your cards. Aquarius, the first card out for you is the 7 of Wands, clarified by the Sun and the Tower. Then you have the 6 of Swords, clarified by the King of Pentacles. Then you have the Queen of Wands, clarified by the 10 of Cups. Aquarius. The first card out for you is the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is about, it's not compromising your values. It's really, I feel that you have to stand up for your values. It's coming from a higher perspective. It's not being dogmatic. It's not, arguing in a cruel and unkind way. It's really about coming from that higher octave, of Neptune and Uranus. I had to change the way I say that because I was being made fun of. So Uranus, it's very important to come from that higher octave, to be, to stand up for what you know in your heart is right. And it's very important to make a stand. Don't allow peer pressure to, to convince you to do something different or take a different, path. It's definitely important for you to stand up, either in relationships or at work. Look, this is like everybody else is down here. And it's not that you are higher than they are, but you need to come from a higher perspective in order to stand up for your values. It's like people are going, no, do it like this, do it like that, do it like, and you're like, no, I understand why you feel that way, blah, 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 but I don't feel that way. I believe blah, 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 whatever it is. Now, clarifying the 7 of Wands, and actually the number 7 is introspective, right? You have the Sun and the Tower. And the first thing, the Sun represents life, right? And life as you know it is changing. Things are really changing. And, something is being removed, like It could be a job. It could be an apartment. It could be, a person. It's usually a situation that's changed. That's kind of just, it's a shocking change. But it's all, listen, when the tower comes in, it's always for the better. It's, it needs to go. Your life has become stagnant. Something is not moving correctly. So whatever this is has to go. And life goes on. The sun is on top of the tower. So life has completely changed, or will completely change as you know it. But the sun still survives, right? It's still there. It's still creating. It's the force of life. It's joy. It's happiness. But it can also, burn down a tower, right? So it's important to go with the flow. Stand up for what you believe is right. And then, listen, it could be because of that your life can change, but it's going to be good because you've got the Six of Swords and it's saying move on. Sometimes we're afraid to move on because we're not sure what's out there. We don't know the future. We don't know what lies ahead for us. And so this is about getting in the boat anyway, because there are greener pastures and calmer waters. So sometimes this is really about taking a trip. You've got to go somewhere. So you have to leave. I think your life is going to change really for the better. Definitely. I'm looking down at the cards. It's like move on from whatever this is, move on quickly because things are moving and shaking for you. I feel that this is your, this is Uranus. This is your ruling planet shaking stuff up, bringing life back into your life. The sun is coming out and shining on you. So this is about moving on, moving forward. And look, you have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles loves opulence and luxury items. And, this is the time. This is the time for you to shine. He understands he's worked hard. I want to sing that song. He works hard for his money, so hard for it, honey. And it's a time where, look, he looks very relaxed. It's a time to kind of sit back in the boat and enjoy all the hard work that you've done. Things are starting to change. Things are going to roll in, like your finances will improve, or definitely your quality of life will improve. And you've got the Queen of Wands. This is like about confidence. This is you can do it. She's the networker. She's out. She's got it all. She's the mother, the wife, the hostess, the executive, the top executive. She's got so much abundant energy. Energy is going to come in for you. You're going to feel energized. And also I want to say, she's got the black cat right here. This is about embracing. She's fierce. She's a fierce protector. You better not cross her, woe betide, darling. She has the sunflower. It's about sun. It's about charm. It's about everything. But she's no joke. She's going to protect, her. She's very loyal. So she's going to protect her family and her loved ones and her friends to the end. So this really is about getting out there. It's about networking. It's about doing everything. It's being seen where you're supposed to be seen is what I'm really getting, right? Be seen where you're supposed to be seen, because I think you'll make some really affluent connections. And look at this. The happy ending. You have the 10 of Cups. This is like what dreams and wishes come true. This is like really nirvana. I would say this is nirvana because this is the ultimate happy ending. It's like everything's going to go your way. It doesn't feel it initially because, and it's scary when your life kind of changes so drastically that something is kind of so it's gone, you know, because you're going to move on. You're moving on to something far better, a much better situation. So the only pain or turmoil you'll feel is by hanging on to whatever this is, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever this is, an apartment, a city, whatever it is. Don't hang on. Allow it to leave. Just let it go. Don't fight. Don't fight this, because that's the pain and the turmoil. Aquarius, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, family, co-workers, neighbors, social media. Comment. You know I live for comments and feedback, and I always respond. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.